Do you find that level of frustration of repeating your message over and over to the same politicians and a revolving door of political parties, and getting that frustration of not achieving those changes? Or do you feel like that organisations like Anglicare are making a difference?
I think there are some changes we've just got to chip away at. And I think tax reform is really one of those. It's not a popular subject. We think of tax as a bad thing, not a good thing. I think of it as a good thing because, if I wasn't in a community that had tax, I wouldn't have half the things I've got. Obviously, I'd just be an individual fighting for my own bit. But look, I think, we need to ask ourselves not just what the policies are that we want, but what do we need to have happen to make this evidence listened to. So we spend a lot of time building evidence, evidence that job seeker is inadequate, evidence that children living in poverty is a bad thing, not just for those children and their families, but for the whole of society. And generally, politicians agree with that, and they get that. But I think there are other interests as well that potentially get in the way of that. And I think one of the things we've got to keep remembering, or that I keep telling myself, is, around this issue of poverty, economic and social poverty. Let's not have a conversation about whether it exists. It does. Let's not have a conversation about who it affects. It affects us all. And let's have a conversation about what we can do about it. But let's agree that this isn't a rule of physics. This is actually a choice. And when we think about and realise that it's a choice, that we have tax systems and we have policies that actually cause poverty, then we can all do something about it. And I think that's probably more optimistic. It sounds like I'm setting up a pessimistic set of assumptions, but I think it gives us a clear point that we can do something about it. And I think that helps me with the frustration of thinking, well, what can we do? And I think it's incumbent on all of us who are involved in these kind of services to make sure we give the best service we can to people who come to our services, and make sure that we enable them to have their story elevated to politicians, so we can actually change things into the future as well. But sometimes it's chipping away. Other times there's just a window opens and you get something through. But let's not forget that some of those are a pen stroke. Some of them are just a piece of paper, and we can actually do those things. It's not a law of physics that job seeker needs to be this low, for example.